All right, the floor is yours.
Awesome. All right. So, hi, everyone. Thanks, Petra. Thanks, Nanner, for inviting us. So, I'm here today on behalf of coaching.com. My name is Shalini, but we could do Shy for this session. And so, I am from the business development, engagement, and enablement side of coaching.com. And I'm basically here today to kind of have a really nice conversation with you on how we can kind of like give you guys a Google presence, help you really just amplify your digital presence. And when it comes into using coaching.com as well. So I know that we have, it's a really nice intimate group. So I want to make this a very nice conversation. So if you have any questions, please use the chat box in the middle and I'd be happy to go through them while we're going through these. So I'm just going to, I have a couple of slides to share with you, and then I would like to walk you through an actual platform so that you guys can see what it would be like. And then, yeah, Petra, do you want me to just go ahead and get started and everyone can just join in?
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for any stragglers in the waiting room. But yeah, please go ahead.
Awesome. Okay. So hello. So again, coaching.com. If you haven't heard of us, you might have heard of WBEX. So coaching.com actually acquired WBEX early last year. So it was basically like a merger of the two biggest things in coaching.com. And the goal was to make it like a one-stop coaching everything for coaches, right? So a little bit about us. We're a all-in-one platform. We like to call ourselves a little bit of an ecosystem. So we have a coaching management system. We have the coaching marketplace, which is actually one of the biggest highlights of our call today. And we also have programs and events that we do that are run towards developing further education for coaches. So 99% of our programs are actually always ICF accredited. So we have a lot of coaches that are joining us that usually join us because they want to get their CCU units for their ICF renewals and things like that as well. So it's a really nice kind of touch base in all aspects. Aside from that, from the system itself, it has a little bit of everything that you would possibly need to manage your coaching business. So let's say you want to, if you're running anything from an Excel to documents or anything, if you're looking for a one-stop solution, this is technically what you would be looking at. So if that's something, if you want to look at digitalizing, that's another aspect that we really, really work with coaches too, and not just coaches, coaching businesses as well. So yeah, that's another aspect for you to look into. We have the second aspect, which is of course our marketplace. So our marketplace essentially is a curated list of coaches that are joining us globally because one, they want to increase their global presence. Two, they want to use that global presence and the network that we already have to hopefully gain access to a new base of clientele. And three, you also, when you create a profile at coaching.com, aside from having that domain, you get away with your own personal domain. So to give you an example, I have a personal domain at coaching.com/Shalini Saha, and I can now use that as a landing page or as my own personal website when I share that to clients or things like that. So it's a great way to kind of basically just leverage our platform and use it for your own clientele as well. And as I mentioned, the third place that we have is our programs and events. So these are things that we run simultaneously. Our biggest event of the year is always WBEX. And if there's anything else that are for further education and things like that, whether it's a red team or right now we're running something on neuroscience, these are usually topics that are coming from coaches because they want to kind of focus on these elements towards their coaching practice. So just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a brief idea of what coaching.com and everything is. And now I want to really just touch on what we're here today for, which is the coaching.com and the ICF marketplace listing. So while we have our marketplace, which is basically coaches, like we have currently, I think 1,000+ coaches that are already on the website. So all of these 1,000 coaches have gone through creating their own domains. They're using it for their own businesses. They're using it as a landing page. They're using it as a coaching.com / their name. It adds such a level of professionalism into it. Now that we add the ICF element into it, we want to make sure that if clients are looking for coaches that are accredited, that are that have specific levels of expertise, and if they want to specifically filter these out and want to work with you, that they can find you when they want to. So we have actually created a dedicated ICF marketplace listing, which I will walk you through a little bit. And at the same time, we understand that ICF has several chapters. So we've actually gone the next step by actually creating specific chapter pages. So then you can actually make that even more niche, even more curated just to that area. So if your clients are looking for coaches in this area, or you think that, hey, you focus on the business side or SME side, and your co-partner can possibly focus on the C-suite side, it's a really nice way to kind of like, bridge different bridges together, right? So this is something that it's very client-centered as well for like both sides, for clients that you work with and clients that are coming in and looking at coaching.com or at ICF or as you as a coach for the first time. So they really get access to, of course, a list of accredited coaches. They're guaranteed that it's all from ICF. And there's a global reach. I think the coaching.com network alone has more than 100,000 coaches in our network. So all of these and clientele that come in want to actually look for coaches in that sphere as well. And yeah, and the best thing I think that I want to really focus on is creating a profile, getting on coaching.com and putting your listing out there is absolutely free. So the reason we wanted to make that free is because, again, we wanted to make that element of being available as a coach and being available to highlight the fact that you are an ICF accredited coach, a fact that's available to the market, to your clientele, and to other people who want to come in and really just meet you and get to know you a little bit better. So, and also if you don't already have your website, it's a great way to kind of, use this like page to become your landing page. And then you can share this to people and you can create your own packages all on the site, all for free. And only if someone actually comes in and buys that package, then you pay a certain commission percentage to the platform for the overall use of it. But otherwise, absolutely free, right? So I want to touch base a little bit on that. I want to show you what the platform looks like. I want to show you what the ICF marketplace looks like. So I'm going to jump right to that and give me a second to pull that up really quick. All right, while I'm doing that, I'd love to know if in the meantime, if we have any questions that I can help with and really center on what we can do for today's call. So this is basically your ICF marketplace that we've created specifically for coaches that are in the ICF listing. So I'll show you a little bit about how coaches end up here, but first I want to show you all the different chapters that we have. So if you take a look at the entire marketplace, we have over 417 ICF accredited coaches that are currently on the marketplace. They've all come in, they've created profiles all for free. And this is where it gets really interesting. You can filter it out according to your specific chapters. I'm going to show you the Orange County one really right after this. But I want to show you what a little bit more features, like when clients come in, can look at when they want to work with you or how you can set yourself apart. So we have a ton of filtering capabilities. These can go specifically from what type of coach you are. Do you like to work on specific types of specialties? Do you also work on only niche industries, or are you available to kind of work with all? Some coaches actually, since we have such a global base of coaches, we have clients who want to come in and work with coaches who speak Spanish, or maybe they want to work with coaches in their specific time zone. So it's a really nice way of being able to filter all of that out and then have a list that gets shown to you for that specific coach. Now you notice all of these coaches have different rates. That's because all of these coaches have set their own rates. And that's another beautiful thing about it. So you create your profile, it's free. You create your packages, and these packages are whatever you're probably doing in your clientele practice already, or this could be a specific type of package that you're creating for someone who's maybe finding you on coaching.com. So I'm going to open one of these profiles here just to show you typically what a profile would look like. So right now we're going to take a look at Daniela's profile. So Daniela is a coach who specializes in corporate, on career, on high potentials, and on startups. So all of these different elements are things that you can add into your coaching profile as well. if you notice, there's actually a button here that says schedule interview. So clients that come in can book this chemistry call with you. You actually have this option to make it available or not. And they can book a chemistry call with you to see if, like, there's an interaction, if there's something that they want to work with you with, and then actually just take forward the coaching engagement from there. So she's also happened to take a program from coaching.com. That's why some of her certificates are actually showing up here as well. Her packages are all showing up here. If you notice, she has different versions of it. So you can create as many as packages as you want. You can also create it in, let's say, one package could be for 3 sessions of 90 minutes each. Another package could be for 10 sessions. You have all the flexibility to do all of those different things as well. And this, if you notice, like all of her packages mostly are on the leadership side, on career growth side, all of her specialties as well. If you want to take a look at what a package looks like, this is essentially what your clientele will see. So if you notice, the packages here have 8 sessions, all her details here. And again, this is all her details. So coaching.com actually takes nothing from this. This is all your information that you can just put out. And if a client comes in and takes their package from here, there's just a single platform fee that we take for processing everything. And aside from that, all of this amount is actually transferred directly to you. We process all our payments through Stripe. So once you, if you don't have a Stripe account, you can create one, put your bank account details in, and everything's going to be put into you all seamlessly, right? So the other thing I want to show you as well is the rest of her profile. So one of the things that we love to do is actually put in an element that has a video. So a lot of our coaches like to put a video into their profile because as a client, the first time we come in and look at your profile, we want to see who you are. We want to see if you match the element or the character or personality that we're looking to work with. So the video is a really nice, quick way to put into your profile, get your clients to get to know you. You can put in a video from YouTube, from Vimeo, whichever platform you want. Everything's self-hosted on here. You can add all your different coaching types. So these are the ones that she selected. That's why it's showing up. What your target audiences are as well. Any specialties that you have, any specialties that you'd like to focus working on. And as I mentioned, what languages. So as you can see, she's actually an expert in Bulgarian. So that gives her an advantage if a client comes in from that part of the world and wants to work with a coach that speaks that language, a really great way to just find you directly from here. You can also add more pizza to your profile by adding a little bit more about your experience, how many engagements, how many coaches. So sometimes these numbers, you can add it as close to that what possibly is. You can also add in everything from your education, your credentials. That's why you can notice that there's an ICF credential here. Any assessments that you're actually working on, any of your work experience that you'd like to put in, your affiliations, any groups, any associations that you support that you'd also like to be shown for, and your publications as well. That's another nice way. So it's basically like, if you look at it, it's a landing page that's just for you. And this is another element I want to touch on. Her landing page is coaching.com/marketplace/Danielle. I'm guessing this is Leneva. So she has a custom domain that's just for her. You can claim that when you're actually creating your profile. So no one can claim that after you. You can put it your name / your business, whatever you want. And now she has this beautiful page that starts with coaching.com, absolutely free, completely free hosted. And you can now share this to your clients if you'd like. You can share this on public pages as well, because it becomes like a nice landing page for yourself. And you can also use this kind of like a way to get new clients. So if a client comes in, finds you, wants a coach that speaks Bulgarian, coaching.com is the place to do that. So I've shown you a little bit more about what the profile looks like. I've shown you a little bit about what the ICF page looks like. Assuming that our coaches here today all sign up after this and you all put in Orange County as your chapter. So all I do when I'm looking for Orange County is I'm going to search that chapter. It comes up. And if you notice, we actually already have one coach from Orange County that's already signed up here. So it's a really nice way, again, to just see. So now this becomes a curated list of all ICF accredited coaches that are in the Orange County area, or in that Orange County chapter at the very least. So sometimes a lot of our associations that when they have all these listings of coaches, but they don't have a way to share all of that together to one place. Or they have a client that they want to work with and they say, hey, what are your coach pools? What list of coaches do you have under your roster? So this is technically that listing that now becomes available that's able to be shareable to anybody. So that client can then come in and see, okay, I like this coach. She matches what we're looking for. They're in the right city. They have the right experience. And then they can go on and work with them. So that's basically what it looks like, how it shows, how the curated list comes up and everything like that. And yeah, so before I proceed, my next step is actually to show you a little bit about how easy it is to come up and sign up at coaching.com. And so I wanted to kind of take a pause really quick and see if we have any questions that have come up so far that I can possibly address in the meantime, and do that as well, like while we're, going through this entire thing.
Shai, this is Ken Bronner. I have a whole bunch of questions. I don't want to dominate the conversation. How do you monetize coaching.com? I mean, you
Sure.
mentioned obviously a percentage, if you get a client through, but how do you monetize? What are your sources of revenue?
Sure. So thanks for asking, Ken. That's actually a really great question. So coaching.com monetizes in 3 ways. One is we have our own programs and events that we run. We create these with thought leaders in the coaching industry. And all of these programs are usually directed from content that coaches want to hear about. So that's one revenue source. We actually have our own coaching management system. So that's our biggest revenue driver as well. So that management system is essentially a software that helps you run your coaching practice from start to finish. So let's talk Excel sheets, let's talk documents, let's talk notes. We're out with all of that. And the latest new addition is you don't even need a Zoom subscription because now we have our very own coaching.com video. So if you're managing your coaching practice with our system, you are doing it end to end without anything else. So that's another revenue source for us. And of course, the last source is the marketplace, but that is a very small percentage because again, we actually just operate on commissions from that. But the commissions only come in if you make a sale. So if you put up your profile and if you put it up, you put up all your packages, how many ever ones you want, absolutely free. The only revenue source is the commissions that we get for processing that for you. And depending on what package you have with us, if you decide to get a premium package, that commission keeps getting lower. But till then, absolutely, everything's free.
Right. Thank you. Second question, how many ultimate clients do you drive through your website to coaches? Do you have any stats on that?
I wouldn't have that right now, but I can get back to you. Yeah. I usually have the stats on how many coaches we have, not on the clientele side.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, which is great. I was thinking, I love this concept, and thank you very much for doing this. I was just thinking, well, if I do this and I go through this, how many actually right now, I don't need more clients, but I was thinking at some point in time, I will, obviously, how many would I get, right? How many people actually shop your site?
Right. I'll have to come
Don't
back
worry
to you
about it,
with
Shai.
statistics
Don't
on that.
worry
Yeah.
about it. Don't worry about it.
But to
Thank
give you
you.
an idea, most of the coaches that come onto the platform, one, they do it for creating that digital presence. And if they've done programs, automatically their profiles also get to be created and they highlight the certifications that they get. So let's say just early this year, we ran the Red Team coaching program, which was kind of like a mastery to journey kind of profession. And all of those were like curated lists again. So we actually had clients come in, actually look for Red Team coaches, and then they got them through the platform. Okay. Another one was the Principles U assessment. So we ran that program again. That was training coaches on how to debrief clients with that assessment. And then if clients came in, then they would also be able to find those coaches and then engage with debriefs and engagements again. So it's kind of like providing you that discovery call or like giving you that platform for a discovery without you having to do much. Yeah. And just put a profile out, basically.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Kat. That was really good questions. Okay. So I'm guessing, anyone else with questions before I proceed?
Yeah, can I ask you a question? Thanks for doing this. My name's Veronica. I have like a Podia site because I do courses as well as part of my coaching packages. Is there a way to do courses on there as well? Maybe with the premium package?
Sorry, I didn't get that. You mean like putting your own courses out in your package?
Yeah, is your platform, is it designed to also have courses that, because I'm on Podia, so I'm kind of, I don't want to be in too many places.
Okay. So we're not on the courses side because we're more on how you as a coach engage with clients. So we focus more on the engagement side, but that entire process is structured. So I think there could be kind of like a use for you as well. So when we look at engagements, we're looking at, you can create it as however way you want it. You can put assignments, you could schedule the next meeting, you can schedule reading materials, you can add in resources that are available maybe to just a certain group of your clientele and not to the rest of them. You can also add in kind of like goals for the system as well. So if within that engagement, you're also working on specific goals, whether it's maybe the leadership aspect in terms of confidence, or whether it's in terms of public speaking or things like that, you can add all of those things and you can have all of those listed out in an engagement. And then you can use that as a template and use that across multiple clients as well. Or you can create specific ones for different groups of clientele. So it's very customizable. So almost, I think like instead of using the courses platform, it's more of like just using the engagements and just customizing it to how you want that.
So like I have videos that I do to teach different
Yeah.
things. So the videos would be like there'd be a link that takes people to the video. Is that what you're saying as part of the template?
Yeah. You can add in your videos into the template. You can add in whatever content. If you want to give them assignments, like after this session, these are the things that you have to complete. They would get that notification, they'd get those assignments. And then on your next session, you can go through those. And then when you're using the coaching.com video, you'll actually be able to see all of that. So in Zoom, we're still using Zoom, and then we're using another platform probably to look at what notes were for that session or things like that. In coaching.com video, it's completely different. I can pull up a couple of photos later to show you what it looks like.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I wanted to just mention something. So just kind of I'm going to take one step backwards. So the idea that we had here with this, so that this kind of brings in our chapter here a little bit more, is that we have sometimes people that actually look specifically geographically for coaches on the corporate end of the equation with particular skill set, particular set of experience. And what we were looking for was really a partner to optimize that find a coach capability that we do not have on our homepage. And you've probably seen that, right? When you look and search for something on our website right now, that search capability is very limited and doesn't yield and doesn't give us the filter options that we were looking for. So I wanted for everyone to just be clear here too. The idea here was for someone, one of the benefits that we have as a chapter is that we have that kind of ICF approval for all our member coaches. And we wanted to highlight that somehow. So if someone, we get inquiries, obviously the chapter does, on the corporate end of the equation. And we wanted to have a tool that allows a talent developer, for example, from an organization to actually go and say, we want to work with coaches from the Orange County chapter, and we want to work with coaches that are ICF member coaches and have an ICF accreditation. And so this tool will actually plug into our website. It will, what Cher just explained, it will link to the landing page. That's our corporate, basically our own URL on coaching.com, which is the URL coaching.com and then Orange County, ICF Orange County. And with that filter capability, and Shalini, maybe you can just show us a little bit again what that filter actually does by pulling some of those filter options down, so people see kind of really how specific someone can search for a group or a cohort of coaches that are specifically, experienced in for a particular initiative that they're seeking to roll out. So again, it's really meant for you to be found more easily as a member coach of the ICF Orange County chapter. And that portion of the presentation, as Shalini already presented, is free. And there are a couple of things that you can add on to that to make that more sophisticated. And I think that's kind of like some of the questions were already geared towards. So just wanted to make sure that found that framework that we had here to present this to you today was really to optimize the Find a Coach tool capability, and for you to be found as a valued chapter member for a potential engagement that is searched by, a corporation that is specifically searching the geographic area of Southern California, Orange County.
And
Thank you,
thanks so
Shirley.
much.
You take it from there again.
No, thanks.
Petra, could you also for a second speak about how if they could just simply put their bio and not have to put specific packages into their coaching.com site as well?
Yeah, so this is maybe, again, Shalini, maybe we'll just take one step back because you shared so much valuable information. I don't want the core of this to kind of get lost in the sauce. There is a profile that everyone can put on, and that's the part that she already touched on, that's free. And maybe we'll just go a little bit into how we can, set that profile up, what type of, again, filters we can set and select there for you to be searchable, pending on certain specialties that you offer. And then as a step 2, you can actually list product and engage on that website a little bit more in a little bit more robust way. But maybe we'll just kind of, like I said, go one step backwards here and just show just the general layout of what that would look like as far as that free profile is concerned, that's searchable here.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Petra. And I love that. I love that we had such an engaged audience as well to ask those questions, especially since we went to step 2 already. But yes, I would love to go a little bit, Matt, and just kind of highlight on the different filterable features for us, right? So when we tracked the Orange County page earlier, like it was really just as easy as going on to the all chapters and just searching for Orange. You notice that only one coach showed up, and that's because only one coach has actually identified herself as one of the coaches who's under that ICF Orange County chapter, right? So let's try the features out. Let's try the filters out in a different, on the ICF marketplace itself. Let's say for today, I'm looking for a type of coach who works on corporate, who also works on teams, and who also possibly has a specialty on small business. All right, so you can see how that list of coaches are already generating. The other thing I want to highlight is this algorithm is completely random. So there is no possible way that you would just keep showing up the first or the second or the third. It keeps getting rearranged on its own. We also want to go into a little bit more on specialties. So let's say I want to talk on communication. Oh, looks like, there we go. I also want to highlight entrepreneurship. And right, again, our list keeps updating. So if you notice, like exactly what Petra was saying, it gives you such a kind of like a specific niche way of being found because of the specialties that you've already listed in your profile. If I also want to go in a little bit more specific, I want to add in business intelligence possibly as an industry. I also possibly want to add in maybe a coach that works in the United States for now. So this entire thing is, and I also wanted to check on coaches on the United Kingdom, maybe because our company partnership is there. And another thing that we can also do is filter out credentials. So we have a couple of different organizations that we've also listed out here. But because it's already listed as the ICF credential, you'll see that already here mentioned. You can also filter it according to different prices, according to years of experience. So we have a different range that we want to do that. So we can add that range to like, maybe this is all we're willing to spend for a coaching engagement right now, or a client comes in and wants to do that. And then the next thing we can also add in is the target audience or even the languages, right? So while that's giving a second to do that, there we go. Okay, so as you notice, all of the coach listings keep changing. It's absolutely random. It's absolutely it just comes up based on the different features that are selected, and the algorithm is really just based on specific your choices or things that are your preferences in terms of what type of coach that you would like to work with. So once you kind of set up your profile, you would actually be able to set up each of these individual things, right? So exactly as Petra said, I'd love to do a really quick walkthrough with everyone on how to get set up on, or really just get started and make sure that you're actually listed on that ICF Orange County coach listing, because we got to increase. I'm hoping after this call that all of us at least here, builds to that list, and then we have at least like 20 more coaches on that list, right? So let me pull that page up really quick. So to create an account, all you really have to do is go on to app.coaching.com. You'll be welcome to the welcome page here. If you've already have an account, you can log in. If not, you can also sign up. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to create a test account. We also do need to set a password that works for us. And once we do that, it typically asks you what type of coach you are. Are you an individual coach or are you a business? So depending on how you want to kind of set it up for yourself, you have all the flexibility. So for this profile, I'm going to be my name. So this is where it is. It's going to ask you what type of account would you like to create. If you want to work with a team, if you want to add your other coaches into that list as well, you can do team. But since we're focusing on creating a profile for yourself, let's go ahead and do individual. And we want to highlight that you are a coach. So the reference why is if you click I'm a client, you're going to get a very different user experience. That part of the experience is going to be you as a client looking for a coach. But if you're a coach, you want to make sure that you have the capability to put your profile out. So you want to go ahead and click I am a coach. And then, okay, let's say I want to put in a company name. So I'm going to call it SS Coaching for this moment. And I am the founder. So I'm just going to go fill in those details really quick. So this is the last step that it's going to ask you to do before it kind of leads you to create an account. It's going to send you a one-time PIN that's directly sent to your email address. So usually that arrives within a few seconds. If not, sometimes it ends up in your spam or your junk boxes. So if you don't get it, just go ahead and check that. So I got mine. I'll go and activate it. And once that opens up, it's actually going to give you access to our beautiful new dashboard. So this is the first thing you see when you come on to the coaching.com like marketplace, especially like platform, right? You want to click this icon here that says marketplace, or you can also click your open quick setup guide. The quick setup guide is going to kind of walk you through all the little things that you're going to have to do about the software, about your marketplace and things like that. But I want to focus today on just getting your profile up and running on the first thing. So we want to go up to marketplace and we want to go on to settings. So these are the three main things that you're going to have to look at to make sure that you've set up your own profile. First things first, claim your custom URL. So your URL is essentially going to be coaching.com/page/ your own name. So this is now your domain, your landing page, basically your personal website with a very hot domain. And so let's say for this package, I'm going to call my, I want to do it for my company name. So I want to make it SS Coaching. I want to check if it's available. And it looks like it is. So I can claim this URL. The one thing I want to note is once we've claimed URL, we're actually not possible to change it unless, of course, like something really is geographically wrong with it, or maybe it was a typographical error. But yeah, so typically make sure you choose one that really resonates with you or your business. You want to go ahead and claim that URL. And the other thing you want to do is fill in your first details. Once you can also add in your phone number if you want clients to be able to contact you, it's going to actually show on your profile. So because I want to show you that, I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. So I am going to add in my number right here. I'm also going to enable the contact button because I want you to see what it looks like if a client has the option to contact me directly from the platform. And I'm also going to add an about me. So you can add a little few words, just a little profile, things like that. I'm just going to do a little test over here and just a little test here too. And I'm going to click save just to make sure that gets brought in. Okay, it's not going to allow me to set. All right, give me a minute. Let's look at something that we can put into the platform. Okay, I'm just going to write a little bit of a test here just to see that if that works out. Okay. And you can also add a profile picture in. So once you do a profile picture, you want to make sure that's actually reachable, accessible. I have an AI version of me right now, so I'm going to add that into my profile. And once I do that, you notice I actually wasn't able to complete it, and this publish profile option isn't available. So your profile doesn't get listed onto the marketplace until this button is available. So make sure that all of these things are actually filled up. So because it's not allowing me to actually proceed with this, I'm going to have to write an actual paragraph about this. So let's see if I can pull up something from, so I usually go to ChatGPT for things like this. But aside from that, you can also use your company profile. You can use a bio about yourself that you have something up and running. Anything that you think that you want to put into, you can go ahead and do that. So I am just pulling that up for myself and setting that into my profile. There we go. So now I've met the minimum characters. It gives me the save button. It gives me the green button. And now the publish profile button is available. So you want to go ahead and click publish profile. So this is an option that'll show you that it's only, as I mentioned, if you actually make a sale from the package. So only that, you know, if you have a client that comes in and buys your package, that's the only time you pay. Other than that, it's completely free. So we go ahead and publish our profile. And then you can take a look at what it looks like. So when you click view profile, you're going to be able to see what your profile looks like right over here. So I have my date, I have my name, I have my profile. And if you notice, it's very, very incomplete. And we want to make sure that it's all added with all the information. So we want to go back to marketplace settings. And we want to go into settings over here. And you want to update your marketplace settings right here. So again, these are all the details about your profile. You can go to profile from here. And this is where things get really interesting. So now you have an edit option for everything you want to do. I want to click the 3 dots over here. I want to add the fact that, hey, I am actually in the Philippines. So I want to make that available to my clients. I want to add my website in if I have that available. So I can add that in right as well. And every time you add information into the profile aspect, this element gets updated. So as soon as clients come in, it's the first thing that they can see, and you'll have that personal domain all for yourself, right? You can add the more information about yourself, your profile, your business. You can add a quick video about yourself as well. And this is where I'd really like you to focus on. You can actually add specific types of coaching that you work on by just clicking on different elements that you think really are your focus elements. So I'm going to go ahead and click these for now. And I also want to just add in a couple of different like target audiences as well. So let's say for this profile, I really work with just the leadership elements of an organization. So I'm just going to make sure that's also properly reflected in my profile. But we have different options as well, considering that if you want to work with entrepreneurs, startup owners or business owners, you can really customize that and to see what clients want to see as well. You can also add in specific industries that you work on, or possibly industries that you would like to work on. Because again, it's a great kind of like discovery platform that you just get to get listed and clients can come find you and really just see what you're really known for. Add your specialties in as well. These could be specific areas of your focus, or this could also be areas that you eventually make into goals as part of that entire kind of, coaching engagement. So for this one, let's add a couple more. And we click save, and then we can add our languages in as well. Now, what's the most important thing to make sure that you actually get listed into the ICF Orange County ICF listing, right? We want to go ahead and click plus, look for ICF, and then you have a couple of different categories here. So for now, I'm going to click member. I actually don't have a credential number, obviously, but under ICF chapter, you would want to make sure and look for Orange County. And that's how you want to make sure that you get listed into that ICF listing. So please go ahead and kind of like choose the specific county or specific chapter that you're a part of. You can also add in the issuing date, or if it does or does not expire, just for this test purposes. And because I have a Devo account, I'm going to put in a credential number and I'm going to click save. And so now that shows up in my profile. So you can add in everything else that you wanted to add, whether it's your education, you want to add in some of your affiliations, you want to add in any other credentials as well. Some of our coaches are affiliated with EMCC, with ICF, with other assessments as well that you're probably trained with. You want to add all those stuff in as well. You also want to add in possibly any publications that you've saying. Again, it's just like a nice landing page. You just want to add all the pizzazz to your profile just to make sure it really stands out. And one of the best ways to really do that is to add that little video in about yourself, because it's the first thing that clients come in, they look at you, hey, this is a coach I'd possibly like to work with, right? So that's basically how easy it is to come on and set your own profile up at coaching.com. And again, once you have a up and running profile, you have that page, you can share that to anybody else that you'd like to use. So I'd like to kind of take a pause over here and take a look if you have any other questions. And Petra, if there's anything that you want me to focus on or touch on specifically, let me know.
Thank you. This was again a lot to digest. And when I'm looking into all the little videos, I can tell people are going like, okay. So this is your all's opportunity to again ask Shalini any question that popped up for you while she was walking us through this. I personally have been on this for a little while, so I'm actually not really having anything to add right now, but I would love for everyone else that may not be familiar with this platform so far to really take advantage of the fact that we have Shalini here to answer. And yeah, just shoot your questions. We have about I think almost 15 minutes. So here we go.
Yeah, I saw a question from Jennifer. She was asking where we can actually get the link to create our profile. So again, you can do that at app.coaching.com. So you can go on, you can create that profile, sign up with whatever kind of resonates with you best, and then take it from there.
What I really thought was great, we had an initial presentation with Kristen, and we only had options to select from one of the 3 credentials. I'm sure you guys gonna add the team coaching credential soon, but we didn't have member, and I'm glad that we were able to update that, because that was some of the feedback that we gave then, is that we need that member option for anyone that's, you know, in the process of still getting accredited. So that, thank you for that change.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a question, Shai. What do you do to attract clients to your platform? I never heard of coaching.com, and I assume clients also don't know. So what do you do to attract them to the platform?
Sure. Thanks, Ron. So typically coaching.com initially was kind of like a place to put coaches together, right? And it's exactly kind of why when we acquired WBEX, the main goal of coaching.com was to become a one-stop shop for coaching. Hence why we have the coaching management software, we have the marketplace, and we have programs and events that we run ourselves, right? So clients that come in to coaching.com usually are either those who have come in through a program that they want to interact with coaches for. So an example of that would be possibly our Principles U program. So Principles U is an assessment, and it's put together by, it's like the brainchild of Ray Dalio and Adam Grant. This assessment had over 30,000 people taking the test every month, completely organic, but then there was no follow through. So the program that was developed was to kind of like train coaches to do these debriefs and then work with these clients. So then suddenly we had clients coming in and like, hey, we want to learn about the program, but then at the same time, we want to work with a coach who's accredited with Principles U. Another example that we had is and Principles U is an assessment that you can use in your personal and your team efforts. So we had companies that would come in and be like, hey, we want to work with a coach who can debrief Principles U assessments for our workforce or for these groups,
sorry.
you know, things like that.
So what do you do to attract clients to your platform? So you're very passive now and you come up with a lot of words after that. What do you actually do to attract clients to the platform?
Sure. So of course, like we do have a marketing funnel that's in place. We work with our social media teams. Our social media is a great place where a lot of clients come in to actually look for coaches. That's one of the different elements that we do. We also run the biggest free event that's not just for coaches, it's for anybody who's looking for learning on mentorship, on learning on business. So that's another basically way where we funnel more than I think about 100,000 people every year that come into our platform just to kind of learn everything about not just coaches, but anything about like what the entire industry is about, which is not necessarily about just helping each other. It's also about a lot about personal growth. So that technically is like probably our biggest funnel driver, which comes in through the WBEX, which happens around April and May. It's the largest free summit that's run. It's a 3-week program. So yeah, it's probably our biggest driver that comes in. I hope that answered your question, Ron.
Very long answer for a very short question.
I wanted to be sure, but yes. If there's anything else, Petra, that you'd like me to touch on?
Shai, one thing maybe I can mention here too, as far as getting clients to become aware of coaching.com, I think what I can say here from my own experience is there's a couple of companies that use coaching.com as a white label, right? And actually run their coaching business through it. So in that sense, you get the exposure for organizational coaching initiatives, and people obviously learn about it because they're being coached off of the platform. So we have, I think, a couple of companies that I'm familiar with, at least, for organizational initiatives and engagements, where it's really being known for, particularly when you scale initiatives for, you know, a lot of participants. So that has been some of the experience I've made with it.
Yeah, absolutely, Petra. And that's exactly why these curated listings come into benefit, because then these clients are looking for coaches that are ICF accredited and want to work with those specific coaches as well. So when these enterprise clients also want to look at coach tools, like they want to ask ICF, hey, what are your coaches specifically in these chapters? We could send them those listings, and then those clients can use that as coach tools for their own internal use as well. So yeah, that's actually a really good one. Thanks for mentioning that, Petra.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we have a question from Brenda. For listing affiliations, is 5 the max? Not necessarily. You can keep adding more, and then there's a scroll button that just appears, and then you can keep adding as many as you'd like. So
I have
yeah.
a question from the chapter perspective, and maybe I missed this, so I apologize if I did. When we have the link on our chapter website and someone clicks on that link, what do they get? Do they just get the whole page that you showed us that filters every coach you have in the marketplace? Or do they get only Orange County chapter coaches?
So they would actually get only the Orange County coaches. And that's exactly why we would like that listing to really be populated. So the moment that button gets added onto your site, they actually have a list of all these active coaches already in the platform. And again, completely free. So I hope that after this call, we at least have a minimum of 20 profiles up into the Orange County listing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Anything else, Petra?
Not that it comes to mind right away, but I really wanted to say this tool, I mean, coming from membership and admin on the back end of every chapter, and I certainly can speak for Orange County, we do get some inquiries every once in a while, and they're very specific, right? We're looking for coaches with executive background at a certain accreditation level. And usually this had to be done by hand. We had to go through the entire membership body and look, you know, how can we compile this? There was certainly a delay sometimes in response to the bandwidth sometimes. So this really gives every chapter, specifically us now, an opportunity to send out, you know, when we get a request for anything like that, to really be responsive very quickly and be able to really capture that due to that filter capability, and create a coach pool of potential candidates for any such inquiry and for any such initiative. So in that case, it again is a wonderful way, I think, for us to you know, capture and present opportunities and respond in turn quickly to anything that comes in. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I hope we can somehow maybe, Shalini, offer a kind of a contact that you could present us with if anyone has a question when they're setting this actually up or selecting to set a profile up, if they run into any hiccups or snags, if there's a way to connect. I don't know if it's actually already on while you're creating the profile, if there's already a button where you can get some help, or how that works, I don't remember. But if there is any such situation, if you wouldn't mind to just mention how to get some assistance for the initial setup, that would be great.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for that, Petra. So of course, I am sharing with you my email and our support email as well. So after this call, I'm sure Petra would be able to share that with you as well. So if any issues come across while setting that up, we are here to help. So aside from that, when you're actually on the platform, all you have to do is click the help button, and then you get chat support right from over here. When you click this chat support, you'll have a little chat box that'll come up. It already knows I'm Ava because once you're logged in, it kind of like helps us really understand who you are, and you can just directly ask us a question. So typically we respond with less than 24 hours, of course, that's usually our line. But if there's anything else that you can reach us with, you can also give us a call. And I can also share those details to you as well. And then we'd be happy to help. But basically, we're available through chat, through email. And of course, we have my personal email as well. So if there's anything else that you have any issues or any help that you want in setting up your profile, we're most happy to help. And yeah, it's exactly like what Petra said. I'd just like to kind of add a note to say that that's kind of exactly why we created these curated listings, because sometimes when it comes to putting these information together, it's hard to get everyone's information together in time for a specific requirement. But when we already have coaches putting in information that you already want for your own profiles, and you're putting in the best version of whatever you want your clients to see, and then all we need to do is press a couple of buttons, and then we have a curated listing. It changes the game. So it works great for a chapter listing. It works great for looking at coaches from a geographical perspective. And it also works great when we're also sharing these listings to enterprise clients as well, for specifically working with ICF or specific essentials for coaches. So yeah, I guess that's what I would like to end today's little talk with. And if there's anything else, feel free to, of course, reach out to us. We're really, really excited about this partnership. And Petra, you mentioned that we added that member, and that's actually another thing that we always do. We're constantly working on updates. We want to make sure that the updates we work on are beneficial to, of course, the users and coaches. So yeah, we're here to really just like take forward that digitized version of coaching. So yeah.
One neat feature with this filter that just popped up for me again also is if you guys work on any initiatives where you're looking to have, a couple of coaches create a network for an initiative or an engagement, obviously that filter version works the same way backwards, right? So if you need a couple of coaches for your engagements where you have a larger, group or corporate initiative that you're working on, and you need a couple of extra people to help you with it, you can do that same filter option, right? And find people, hey, are there some people in my chapter that I can invite in on this or something? So I just believe the search option is of great benefit for us in a couple of different ways. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this today. We were so happy after 2 years to present this to you. And please feel free to reach out also, of course, to us with any questions that you have as you think through this and maybe play around a little bit online and look at this and see how that could maybe, work for you in terms of having that profile there under our ICF Orange County URL.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again for joining. Thank you, Shalini, for presenting all the way from Manila. That's exceptional. I'm so happy this worked out, and wonderful seeing everyone. Nano, if you want to wrap up for us here today and maybe stop the recording, we would be happy.